Once again, interest rates were the big story in real estate. Mortgage rates are down, but for how long? It's time for the very latest in stats and trends for Portland residential real estate. Welcome to Real Estate with Ron. I'm Ron Milligan, owner and managing broker of RE/MAX Select here in Portland. And I am so glad you tuned in today. If you are new to the channel, I would be super grateful if you would like this video and maybe share it with a friend, maybe subscribe so that you could see more videos like this in your feed, and make sure that you're the first to learn of new changes in our real estate market. Now on with the report. The average sale price in Portland Metro is down from the high number we saw the previous week, and we ended up pretty much even with the same time period last year. If you remember last week, the year-over-year average sale price, when we compared May of 2023 to May of 2024, we saw an improvement in sale prices by just over 4%. Well, looking at the first 10 days of June, that margin has decreased to only 1%. That is, average sale prices are only 1% higher than last year at this time so far this month. Something to watch over the next couple of weeks. The number of purchase agreements signed by both buyers and sellers is still pretty strong, with a 17% increase over the previous week. What is interesting, though, is that this is pretty much the same number we were seeing last year at this time. Over the past 5 weeks, we've been talking about how this year has been outpacing last year's buyer activity, but not this week. Our other main measure of buyer activity, lockbox opens by agents out looking at homes with their buyers. That number has been gaining ground for a few weeks now. On the Oregon side of the border, lockbox opens are up by 5% versus last year at this time, and they are up by more than 10% on the Washington side of the border. Now on to supply. We've been seeing the supply of homes for buyers to purchase continue to grow. That's normal this time of year, and increases are pretty much keeping pace with last year's increases. Nothing new there, but do keep in mind that we've been running with a higher supply of homes for sale than last year. Buyers currently have 32% more homes to choose from versus last year at this time. No change from the previous week, but we are still down from the 44% difference that we were seeing about a month ago. Well, it's time to talk about the big story of the week, and that's mortgage rates. At the end of last week, the 30-year fixed mortgage came in at 6.5%. And that's the best case scenario for the best advertised rate that I could find. Well, we got a couple of lower than expected reports for inflation and a higher than expected number of jobless claims. That all led to smaller yields on the 10-year Treasury, and as a result, a decrease in mortgage rates. On Thursday, the best rate I could find advertised for the 30-year fixed was 6.25%, with most lenders probably somewhere around 6.75% to 7%. As always, if anything changes before I post this video on Friday, I will note the changes right up here. The Fed board did meet earlier this week. They made no changes to their Fed funds rate as expected, but they did announce that they're only anticipating one interest rate cut by the end of this year, and that's down from the 3 cuts that they'd been anticipating up until now. So for now, it looks like mortgage rates in the 6s is pretty much where we're gonna stay. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you found today's report informative and helpful. Post a comment down below or reach out to me however you like to communicate with any questions or thoughts that you might have. I appreciate you watching to the very end, and I look forward to seeing you right here next week.